It's 3. It's when we normally talk about Glastonbury Fringe. We like a bit of a gossip, a bit of a catch-up, find out what's happening, and I'm very pleased to welcome one of the Fringe team, and there's many of them, there's loads of them actually, and that's David Beach. David, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Nice
Come in a little bit to your mic.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. I mentioned there's a team. There is, isn't it? It's actually built into quite a lot of people who are doing different bits related to the Fringe, whether they are performing, whether they're organising a venue, the acoustics or the equipment or everything else.
Yeah, there's a lot of people involved, and they've asked me to come and talk about it today. I'm involved at the moment running music at the King Arthur on Wednesday nights, which is the King Arthur is going to be a really big part of this Fringe. They've got some seriously good music on that 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, so how did you get involved in were you always interested in it? And
well, I've always been interested in getting music going in this town and arts going, and it's a breath of fresh air to see this finally happening. And especially in a year when there's not a Glastonbury festival, we're going to showcase what we've got, and which is great, like everywhere, but especially here.
But the flavour I'm getting, as we chat into people of the week, so actually it was always there anyway. That talent, those musicians, poets or whatever else is, they're all here, aren't they?
Yeah. There's always been that. I mean, the Glastonbury's got a long tradition of that. You find this everywhere, of course, but especially here, we've got a lot of people, and it's just giving the opportunities. And we've got, as time's gone on, there's some really nice people here now working in these areas. Rebecca Whitehead and Jonathan Fryer asked me to come and do this. They also play music themselves, and yesterday they invited me to play on the opening concert, which is taking place. There's also, I'll say that Tim Hall, who's a musician of the town, has been here a long time, he's running an outdoor stage in the Market Square, which is going to be really, really good.
So tell us a bit more, do you know a bit more about the opening itself? Because we're looking ahead to June the 21st, which I said earlier on, it's actually not that far away. It's surprising how quickly time goes. How are they marking the opening of the whole thing?
They're having an opening concert, and I can't give any more details about what else is going on that day, but what I recommend is that you visit the website, which is really comprehensive, and it'll give you a rundown of exactly what's taking place. But I've got a list of some things here if you want to hear them.
Well, just give us another flavour, because people need a bit of reminding sometimes. They won't always want to go to the website, but it'd be quite nice if they can get a reminder and maybe pick out a highlight or two for yourself.
Yeah, well, apart from music, of course, which is the bit that I'm sort of more involved with, there's things like there's an art book and gift bazaar, there's a DJ open deck night, a Glastonbury creative arts trail, a fabulous furry folk night, a pirates ball, and shamanic drumming, a piece which is very good called Thought Dancer, which is a theatre piece that's taking place, and I would guess that's going to be in the assembly rooms. I haven't got that here. Yeah. And lastly but not least, Gold Ray are playing at the King Arthur, featuring Kenwyn from Reef, and they're a really good band. They're worth seeing.
Yeah, well, any particular things that stand out for you? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the Julie Dask band, because I'm a big fan of Julie Dask.
For people who don't know, tell us a bit, but she's local, isn't she?
She is. I'm not sure whether she's right here in town now. I think she may be in Bristol, I'm not sure. But, yeah, she's a brilliant singer-songwriter that is sort of... She's a kind of Joni Mitchell kind of singer. She's also got a bit of Kate Bush, if you doesn't mind me saying, in what she does. But she's now finally formed a band, and it's massively uplifting music, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. But generally, to see music in the streets, which is what I think should happen in Glastonbury anyway. I think we should be seeing music on the streets for the tourists.
I think that's a really good idea, actually. Yeah, there's so much, you said, there's so much happening, but unless you know that it's happening, it sometimes passes you by. Yeah. And to showcase all the talent that's in town, it would be nice to have street performers and things. I think people would love that.
Yeah, I did go back to that one, actually going back 10 years when they moved the market originally. Yeah. They had quite grand plans. They shut the road for quite a few times, and it was good. And they had ideas about putting performers on, so that when people came to town, they would see some of the things that almost you'd expect to see when it comes to a place like Glastonbury. Yeah. It's now a very pretty place. We've got a lot of beautiful shops, and it's very well kept. But I'd like to see more, obviously, and I could do more.
Yeah. Putting yourself forward.
Yeah.
So there will be some of that street performing. From what you described, you mentioned Tim Hall, I think, doing stuff like that, and there's a lot more outdoors activities going on.
Yes. Yeah, there are. There's you'd have to, as I said, I know you said not so much about the website, but if you look at the website or find Glastonbury Fringe on Facebook, you will find out more about it. And I couldn't bring any more today, other than the details.
Oh, that's funny.
It shows that there's quite a broad thing. I'd like to know there was more for younger people, children. I'm sure there are things happening, but I'm not sure what that is again.
What have you got out of it yourself in terms of your involvement? What do you enjoy?
I enjoy performing. I enjoy meeting all the musicians. Most of them I've known a long time. I just love working in the arts. That's what I love to do, especially performance, radio. Talking to you.
Well, you've got to say that.
Yeah.
You're here now.
Yeah,
You
it's
have
good.
to say it. Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's our bit we do.
So you get that buzz from other people and being around them and what they're producing, presenting, or whatever, which is what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that builds into our theme of happiness, which we're going to pick up on a little bit later on.
That's
possibly.
good. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Well, we will enjoy it a little bit later on, I think. And are you going to be performing yourself? Because you're a bit of a performing artist as well.
Yes. My partner and I, Natalie Paul, we've got an act called Shelley Lane, and we've done quite a few gigs, and we've been on GFM twice too. And we're slowly making a record, and we've made quite a lot of films to go with it. We've taken it sort of that we would not just play live, that we would do all the other bits. For instance, playing on the radio, which is a wonderful experience. Anyone who's listening, who is a performer, get in contact with GFM. It's a great experience for what you do, for yourself. And filmmaking, I love too. Coming up with stories, wacky stories of what we're doing during the song.
Yeah, so can we expect, do you think, coming out of the Fringe, besides all the artists and everything else, can we expect a lot of video stuff, a lot of film coming out of it to capture it all? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I think so. I happen to be doing something at similar time to this for 1 or 2 days over in Shepton Mallet, which is some people from Strode who are going to be making a film about a little festival. And I think that now we've all got phones and cameras, we could put together a lot of good stuff.
Make a nice montage of it all.
Yeah. It's all out there for us to do, and I hope we do, and keep the ball rolling, and more comes out of this as time goes on.
And also the aim is for the Fringe to be not just a one-off.
I hope so. I can't see that it will be a one-off now, because it's grown in the years that we've arrived at this point now, and I can just see that it's going to carry on.
And also there's a whole audience of people who may not want to go to the festival for various reasons, and the thing about the Fringe is it's going to be in such a condensed area that you're probably going to be able to see more in a shorter amount of time than if you're on a massive festival site.
Yes.
So it really promotes the area, it promotes all the artists and musicians and players of all sorts, and I just think it's wonderful, and if the profile gets raised and it becomes a regular thing, then that would be marvellous.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, David, thank you very much for coming in this afternoon and updating us on the Fringe and sharing your enthusiasm for it, which is great to see, and I think that sort of multiplies, doesn't it? Now, you've one more thing to do. You've chosen a bit of music. Introduce it if you can.
Okay, this is Sarah Curtis. I met her in the King Arthur playing music 12 years ago, I guess. She's a wonderful singer and a wonderful songwriter. I'm hoping she's going to be part of the Fringe, although I haven't spoken to her yet, but I'm sure she will. This song's for all of us that are going to be taking part, and it's called Shining Light.
Shining lights, I love to be together.